Right.
She is obsessed with the Yankees. It's kind of real time, it's just one night. She's watching a game. It starts with a game. I believe it's a game that actually happened because we
Mhm.
did a show a little while ago at a library, and a man came up to me and said, "I remember that game." So I have to double check that. But so she's in love with the Yankees, and she does all these things to get out. And a couple things attracted me to it. One was this idea of like, and she says it in the show, this sort of seemingly normal, happy, beautiful 39-year-old woman where everybody's like, there's nothing wrong with her. Why can't she get
Mhm.
out the door? So that sort of juxtaposition of like what people think you are or who people think you are, and then the fact that you're really not that on the inside. And then also, my husband's a Bronx native. He's a huge Yankee
Nice.
fan. Yeah, I'm a huge Yankee fan, but I grew up in New England, so we have love for Red Sox people as well. No
Oh, so
worries.
you've been so
I
you
know.
you've been you've seen both sides of the
Yeah,
rivalry.
I'm like a switch hitter, sort of. Not really. I don't know. I'm really a Yankees fan, but we love Red Sox people too. And in fact, the first
Yes.
time we did the show was in Maine, in
Okay.
Deer Isle, Maine,
Yo,
which is
you came
like
to my neck
huge
of the
Red Sox
hood.
territory. Yeah.
You
Yep.
came to my
So,
neck of the hood.
It
are
is.
you in Maine?
Yes, I'm actually in Waterville.
Okay, amazing. So I danced in Waterville. I used to dance with Robinson Ballet in Bangor, and we used to come up to Waterville.
Yo,
Yeah. See,
Very
small world. Yep.
nice.
Yeah. So we were
get
in Deer
out of
Isle.
here.
Yeah, we did this show in Deer Isle in July of 2022, of all
Yeah,
places.
that's like 2.5 hours north of me.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. My parents are we're in Blue Hill. My parents are in Blue Hill. So
Wow.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean the in a lot of ways the show is also sort of like a little bit of a love song to old school New York and like old school Greenwich Village, which I love. I mean, I guess I'm kind of old school, uh yeah, that's
Nothing
just
wrong with
so
that.
it was all of that. And then the other thing is that she's so creative, and like even though she's in this place that is just not good, she is so determined and she's just trying so hard. And we have a really small team, but we say to each other all the time, like, we feel like we could work on this show and like never quite figure it out, never quite crack it, because it's just so interesting and there's so much to talk about. There's just so much in it. So that is what drew me to the show. And the Yankees part is a bonus, and it's really fascinating. And I think it's also great because I'm hoping that it will appeal to some people who don't necessarily come to a lot of theater. Like, my dream is to have baseball fans come who just like don't come to theater. That's what I hope is going to happen. So
I
Well,
think that'll
why
be a
should
huge crossover for sure.
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. Why should you mentioned baseball fans? Why should baseball fans come see this show? What's your goal with that?
I mean, I think it will. I mean, number one, I think it will be fun. It's 1983. Billy Martin is managing
Yes.
the Yankees.
Yes.
Um, Goose is Spanky's favorite player.
Goose.
Guidry is on the mound when the show starts. And
Louisiana
I mean,
Lightning.
what else? What else do you need? There's a little bit. There's some Babe Ruth action, not on the TV. That's
Okay.
she's not. It is historically accurate, but there's some Babe Ruth fun stuff. There's 3 huge Yankee dolls. There's small Yankee dolls. There's some fun Yankee memorabilia.
Mhm.
But mostly I think it's just, I mean, she's such a fan, and it's super interesting because she has an amazing baseball mind. And another thing we talk about a lot is that if it was 2024, Spanky
Mhm.
would probably be like one of the first female managers, because she was ahead of her time.
Oh,
And I know
beautiful.
that because my manager, my director is works for MLB. He does statistics, and he is a little bit in charge of the pitch clock, of all things.
Yes.
So yes, I know. Yeah. So he, which is, that was like not even the reason I hired him. I hired him for his like artistic fantasticness,
Yeah.
but it's also
Yeah.
was obviously an incredible, huge bonus that he's so knowledgeable about baseball. And he
Mhm.
talks a lot about how Spanky, the character, really did know what she was talking about and was ahead of her time in terms of how she like kept stats. And honestly, it's over my head, but I think that part is really fascinating. So I think it will be interesting to baseball fans. Yeah.
That is incredible. I mean, honestly, just hearing about this now, you've got me hooked if you ever come back up here.
Well, I mean, we're ready to do. We're ready to go anywhere if people will have us. So
Oh,
we'll
there's
come
an
to Waterville.
there's an opera house that's
We'll
about 2
come to
minutes down my
Portland.
door. Hey, there you
Let's do
go.
it. Let's make it happen. I'll come to Waterville.
I want
No
now.
problem.
I want to see this show because I grew up on baseball. I absolutely grew up on baseball. My father and my grandfather got me involved in it. My uncles were involved in it. I played a little bit of little league baseball. Tried out for my high school baseball team as a sophomore. Couldn't cut it, but I then tried out for the varsity team. Couldn't cut it there. So as far as playing baseball, the dream was dead. But the varsity coach came up to me and lit me up and he said, I got an offer for you. All right. What's that? How'd you like to be our statistician? Oh, hell yeah. I'm all over that. And I
Nice.
was a statistician for 2 years, my junior year and my senior year, more so my junior year. And I loved it.
Awesome.
And now, still being involved in the game, I do a lot of virtual play-by-play since I'm healing from cancer and toe amputations. So I sit here in front of my computer, pick a Major League Baseball game on a day where I know I can get some traffic to my YouTube channel, and I do the game. But I do have a goal this June to get back in the booth live and call the Indiana High School State Baseball Championships at Victory Field in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I want to make it a weekend. I want to bring my wife with me. And there's all kinds of stuff I want to do. Let me welcome the audience from a Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I mistakenly forgot to start the stream with them. So what I will do is reload this at 2 p.m. so y'all can see the entire show, can see the entire replay. My apologies to that.
Now, my biggest question is, with you guys being in the Bronx, obviously you've been down to the new ballpark and everything else. We mentioned earlier John Sterling's retirement.
Mhm.
What is the ultimate John Sterling call for you?
Oh my God, I don't. My husband's in the other room. He's still on spring break. I should ask him. I don't know. I mean, I will say that when I think my director Jonathan told me first, and I texted my husband. I was like, "Did you know that John Sterling retired?" Because it was like I think the Tuesday, Sunday, we were listening to the game in the car. And I mean, I guess for me, it's more just like watching my husband listen to him, and my husband's the kind of fan, like if he's watching the game in the other room and I think somebody and I don't know, he has this reaction I really think somebody's died, and that happens all season. I keep thinking someone's dead, or he got it. He really, I mean, he's a Bronx guy, he's lifelong Yankee fan.
Yeah.
So I'd really have to ask him. And I mean, just what you said, he always talks about how the nicknames are amazing. I mean, my son, who's almost 5, wore his Aaron Judge t-shirt to school today.
Nice.
So I think, and he's falling in love with the game at this age. And I think Judge is his favorite player. So I think, I think it's the nicknames that sort of come into our house a lot since we have the young
Robinson
kids.
Cano, don't you know?
Yeah.
Stantonian blast.
Stantonian blast.
Of course, if we're gonna mention Double A, all rise. Here comes the judge.
Yes.
There's so many that he came up with. El Capitan, that's of course in reference to Derek Jeter. Yes, I remember Bob Shepard. Bob Shepard's one of my favorite PA announcers. And all I had to hear to know I was listening to a Yankees game was number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
Oh, for me, that if I knew I was listening to a Yankee game, it was when Mariano Rivera was coming out of the pen.
I was going to say that was for me.
Yankees, number 42. Mariano Rivera. Number 42. But man,
yeah, I think that would be for me, because that was the sort of the era that I was watching a lot of baseball, because I wasn't quite as busy as I am now. Mariano is probably my favorite player. I had a Matsui jersey for a little while too. Back in the
Godzilla.
Thriller from Godzilla.
I'm a Red Sox fan and I know these calls.
I know. My
Yes.
only excuse is that I have 6 jobs and 2 kids, and we're trying to move. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know how
And my
that
husband
goes.
watches the games for me.
I
I know
get it.
it's awful. One day I'll get back to it.
I understand that. Believe me.
Yes, Amelia Hunt, I get it. All right, I truly get it. My health has gone sideways for the last 3 years, and kicking the hell out of cancer, coming back from blood clots, and now coming back from an amputated toe. People just expected me to give up, to give up this dream. I got a headset in my closet. All I got to do is get my schedule organized, and I'm calling Major League Baseball. I'm calling the WNBA. Shane already knows my NFL team, which is the 49ers. And I started doing their games just about midway through. And my wife came to me and said, "You're on to something. Keep going." So now it's a split Sunday where I do the Colts games. That's her team. She bought me this. So, and my daughter was born at Peyton Manning Hospital. So I cannot come in this house and not have love for the Colts. My team is the 49ers, and my daughter Cheyenne saluted me with this for Christmas. So, like you, it's the nicknames for me with John Sterling. But I will say this. There was one move that he always did to signify a Yankee victory. And I'm gonna take you back to 2008. It's at the old stadium. And it was a wild, wild game. Johnny Damon got the game-winning hit, and the call went like this.
3-1, swung on and driven down the right field line. Fair, the game is over. It's a fair ball into the corner. Benamy scores. Johnny Damon gets his 6th hit of the day, a ribby single. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
That's when I learned about the Sterling Shake. And I borrowed, and 4 years later, I beg your pardon, I borrowed it because I was in Chicago at the time, and I was covering the Roosevelt University Lakers based out of downtown Chicago. And I knew that call was going to come to me because I couldn't think of any other call that would fit. So we go to first home game. They won. And that's what I did. I said, Lakers win. The Lakers win. It caught fire.
Yep, that's when you know you're on something.
It caught fire. Man, speaking of fire, this is a great conversation we're having with Amelia Huckle Bauer. And right now, folks, we're just rolling right along and doing everything. What do you do outside of acting?
I teach acting, and I teach acting and I act. Right now I'm directing a middle school production. My daughter goes to a Bronx charter school for the arts here in the Bronx, and there's a elementary school and a middle school. So I'm directing a production there. I teach at Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute, which is an old school method acting studio, which I love, sort of my home away from home. I've been there since I was 17. I won't say how many years that is, but it's well over half my life. We'll put it that way.
Right.
And I work with an amazing theater company called Emit Theater, and we do immersive Shakespeare in New York City public schools. And that is super awesome as well. There are not as many baseball fans in that theater company, I will say, but they are super supportive of the show nonetheless. Shakespeare and baseball do not always mesh, although maybe that is my next project. That might perhaps be a good one. I wanted to mention too, another fun thing about the show, because we have, so there's a lot of voices in the show because she listens to tapes, and then she's also watching the game, and we have announcers. And I have a friend named Owen Newkirk, who I grew up with also in Blue Hill, Maine, who announces for the Dallas Stars in Texas.
Nice.
Yep, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Same here. Same here.
So Owen and I grew up together. His little sister is my age, and we're best friends. And Owen, used to like tease me and beat me up and all that stuff growing up. And he was always hilarious. But your story of being asked to be the statistician when you were in high school made me think of him. But he and his buddy do the announcer voices for us. So we bring in like all sorts of, I don't know, fun stuff. So we have real hockey announcers doing the baseball announcers, but it works. So
if you ever need another voice,
tidbit.
If you ever need another voice, I'm putting my hat in the ring.
Yep, for sure. Yep.
You come to Maine, I got you.
Yep. We could make it. We could like add
listen.
A live.
I'm in studio here most of the day. All right. This microphone is in front of me. Whenever you need a voice, never fear. Snowman's here.
I love it. And I love what you're saying too about keeping working, even though you have some health challenges, because I think that's what keeps us going. Mm-hmm. I mean, why would you give that up? Like, if anything, that's what's gonna help you push through. And we also talk a lot about we struggle a lot with like what Spanky would be doing now, because I think in some ways with the technology we have, she would probably be a you. She would be an influencer, or she would have a podcast. She would have, she'd have a YouTube channel. But what we wonder is like, I mean, she obviously also has some real mental health challenges that she has to deal with. So sometimes we talk about like, if she was alive now and she had all these opportunities to stay in her apartment yet still connect with the real world, would that be like helpful to her, or would it be a way for her to still sort of like keep things at bay? So it's just like an interesting, I mean, obviously for you, it's healthy and helpful. And I think it ultimately would have been for her too, which is interesting because I think these days it's easier to like sort of look at social media and all of our technology moving so fast as like sort of a lot of the negative impacts it's having on us. But for a lot of people, there's a lot of positive out there as well in terms of connecting with the outside world. I mean, we're all talking to each other in different areas of the country, which is so cool. It's just like, it's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. This little studio that I have right here is just a precursor to what I'm going to be getting next. And my wife's going to help me with the decoration and the building of said studio. And she told me you can't have your office and studio in-house because you'll really start forgetting what you need to do around the house. And she's right. And we have a deal where if she's making the bread, I clean up the house. And that's no problem for me. That is absolutely no problem for me. So teamwork makes the dream work. And though she teases me all the time about announcing games, she was one that looked me in the eye and said, I want you to chase your dreams. Man, do you know what that does for you when a woman tells you that? Chase your dreams. That is something else. I mean it. That is something else. Speaking of something else, that's what this conversation has been. Oh man, Amelia Huckelbauer joining us here on Snowman in the Morning to kick off hour 2. Man, I love you very much. I love your production. I want to see it one day. And I'll say again, you ever need a sports voice, never fear. Snowman's here. I got you.
You're on the list. And I love that story about your wife. Thank you for sharing that. I also have a partner who's incredibly supportive, and it makes a difference.
Isn't it wonderful to have that? Did your husband like say the same thing to you that my wife?
I mean, we're I think lucky in a lot of ways. Obviously, you and your wife are an amazing couple. I mean, Eric and I met when we were younger and then sort of split for a little while and got back together. He's also 15 years older than me. But we got married when we were fully grown adults and we knew exactly what we wanted. And there wasn't much, it was like, if we're doing this, this is what we're doing. This is who I am. This is who you are, et cetera, et cetera. So he knew ahead of time, I'm an actor. That's what I do. And what he said to me many times, especially because when we had kids, we have an 8-year-old and an almost 5-year-old. I took off of work mostly because none of my jobs, as wonderful as they are, really
Mhm.
supplement childcare to that extent. It didn't make sense for me to keep working. And plus it was amazing to be able to be home with them. But I definitely had times where I felt guilty because I wasn't bringing in the amount of money that I felt I should be. And he looked at
Mhm.
me and he would say, "You're doing the harder work, first of all." Um, there are many times where I think he's like, "I'll stay at work another hour."
Yeah.
Where it's like being home with the kids is, but also he looks at me and he says, "You are an artist. It's what you do,
Yeah.
and you're a real artist." And then every now and then he sort of looks at me and he's like, I'm amazed with you," which it kind of amazes me to hear him say that because, he knows me better than anybody. And so
Mhm.
um, I just feel like I'm just his wife. I'm going about the things that I do and it's, everyday stuff. And then he sometimes looks
Mhm.
at me and he's like, "You're doing a great job. I'm really proud of you." So it's very, and then he helps me so much with the Yankee stuff. He designed my postcard. He's a teacher. He's a full-time special ed middle school teacher in the Bronx where we live, like the
Mhm.
hardest teaching it could possibly be. But he still finds time to, he's a graphic designer and he helped me with my postcard. And he also used to be a lighting designer. And so one of his best friends is helping me with lights, Stark Productions. So it is a
It
team
is.
teamwork for sure. Yeah, but no,
It
he's very
is.
supportive. And then my
It
team itself, Jonathan Libman is my director and he's amazing. And then one of my very good friends, Tatiana Kott, who also is uh, a Jackie of all trades. She's an actress and a choreographer. She's a scientist, a teacher. She's from the Soviet Union. She's a breast cancer survivor. And she's
Yes!
just, yeah,
Another
no, she's
cancer
amazing.
survivor.
And, well,
Yes!
my husband actually is also an adult onset
What?
leukemia survivor. Yes, yes,
What
yes,
did you say leukemia?
yes, yes, yep, yep, yep.
In the immortal words of the late great Jack Buck, "Pardon me while I stand up and applaud."
Yeah,
We're
yes,
surrounded by
yes,
we're surrounded by cancer survivors. So you can add me to that list because I kicked cancer in the ass.
yes.
And
Thank goodness.
it was stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Oh my God. Wow.
It was stage 4. I was at stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And the doctors in North Carolina where we were living didn't think there was a chance in hell that they could remove the tumor. It started with blood clots. And this is how sports helped me. When I was laying on a table at Duke University Cancer Center and they were sucking the blood clots out of me, I looked to my left and on the television was, wouldn't you believe it, a hockey game. it was it was the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Carolina Hurricanes. And I looked to my left and I just stared. I was on that skinny ass table for 2.5 hours while they sucked all the blood that was in my lungs out of me. Thank the Lord that they did. And then a month later had the biopsy, and the biopsy was crazy because we got there, got checked in. I put on the robe and I had to wear 2 hats. I had to wear 2 hospital hats. And then they gave me that anesthesia and I zonked out quick. It took the nurse, according to my wife, it took the nurse to like shake me on my chest to wake me up. One of the best sleeps I ever had. And it only lasted 20 minutes.
Oh no.
It only lasted 20 minutes. I thought I slept for hours because I was groggy.
You're out.
I was out. I was completely out. And when I had the surgery 2 years ago this month, as a matter of fact, I came home from the hospital and dropped into bed. And who should come running? My little dog, Lucy, who has been attached to my hip since the day I met my wife. She's my spirit animal. So, folks, if you have a dream and you're going through a lot right now, physically, mentally, emotionally, use it as therapy. Because I use this as therapy. I do my play-by-play as a form of therapy. I talk to people. I talk to my daughter. I talk to my wife, and I just talk to different people, and they have all helped me to heal. So therapy, folks, is not a bad thing. and we're up against the break, but I would love to have you come back and talk some more. This has been an absolute delight. We love you, and we want you to come back.
For sure. For sure.
Amelia Huckelbauer, everybody. Thank you, my dear. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
You come to Maine, I'm coming to the show.
I'm doing it. We're there every summer, so we'll hook it up.
Whenever
Snowman, give her my info.
Done. Whenever you have an opening that I can do virtually, never fear, Snowman's here. I'm
gonna think of something now. We're doing it.
Beautiful. Sure. Beautiful.
I wish we could have you as a guest. I wish we could have you both come. We've been wanting to do a talk back. Maybe I can figure it out so we can do a virtual talk back. We'll make it work.
You see how we're doing this? I'll teach you how to make it work. Trust me. Trust me. Bring me on as an advisor for virtual conversations. I will help you make this work. It's a lot of trial and error for me, but now I can share it with you. All right.
I'm game.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, both. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Yeah, you too.
Wow.
Dude, that was freaking awesome.
Wow. I think we just found another virtual job, bud.
I'm down. Legit, I'm down, dude.
So am I. My first virtual voiceover work. Hell yeah.
All for it. I'm all for this, man. Let's do it.
Hell yeah, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. And I love her story, her enthusiasm, her team, which includes her husband and her family. Because in today's age, everybody's out for themselves. Everybody out for themselves. And what's wild is that you don't have natural teams anymore. Let's take a break. We'll end the show with that. We'll end the show with a discussion about that. And thank you, Amelia Huckelbauer, for coming on. We appreciate you so very much. A wonderful conversation. Y'all will see this on the new Snowman in the Morning YouTube channel. Talk more about that and a few other things we got in place. Snowman in the Morning, back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to BruxNightGuard.com and order yours today.
Hey everyone, I'm joined by my old friend, Mr. Ellis Williams, AKA Mr. Biggs. You called me and you told me, you said, man, I got CarShield and it worked. What made you get it?
I have this old SUV and I know the manufacturer warranty is about to run out. I don't want to get stuck with expensive car repairs.
Right.
So I gave CarShield a call. Coverage was very affordable and there was no long-term contract. A few months after that, transmission went on my car. I took it to my mechanic. They called CarShield and saved my family and I $2,400.
CarShield is America's #1 auto protection company. Their administrators have paid out over $1 billion in claims and cover most vehicles from 5,000 to 150,000 miles. You'll receive 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental reimbursement at no additional charge.
Give CarShield a call today before it's too late. Remember,
CarShield cars go farther.
Protect yourself now against expensive auto repair bills. Call 800-513-9263.
We were always hippies at heart, I guess, and that was one way that we showed it before we became full-time RVers.
Yeah, we were definitely living small and minimally.
What made us decide to go with Battleborn was everyone from their top leadership team down to their service department helped us so much the whole way through. Our relationship with Battleborn is so much more than business. And me and Dennis love to jam together. We've played together multiple times, and that's been an awesome transition. Be able to learn so much more about the business. Also, just make some awesome friends.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, W-I-Z-E.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. So, Snowman's been asked, who's the face of the NBA? The face of the NBA has been residing in the Bay since he got here. And his name is Wardell Stephen Curry, the only unanimous MVP in NBA history. Take that.
Oh, yeah!
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
Down the stretch we come.
Man, I am still smiling over Amelia. I'm telling you that now. Yeah.
You too?
Dude, the fact she's got ties up to my neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's crazy.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Isn't
Hey,
it?
like we said, she needs anything, we got her.
And then I told her, if you need something that I can do virtually, and the next sentence she says to me is, I'm thinking of it, we're going to do something together. And I'm like, huh?
Dude, now you know how dumbfounded I was when we started what we were doing 24 hours ago.
Right.
And here we are, all of this lining up. Man,
And
the craziness.
And if you take a peek in the chat, the Snowman in the Morning clothesline Yeah, just merch line just dropped.
Bro. This has been a week already. And it's only Tuesday.
Only Tuesday. Oh man, listen. When I was designing that gear during the show, the Snowman in the Morning gear, I was designing that during the show. And then I looked at it because black is available and white is available and a couple of other colors. I looked at that and I said, I don't need anything else. I don't have to change anything. I don't have to do anything. Everything's good right there.
Right?
And it's like, oh, sweet.
Again, dude, the past couple of days have been insane.
Mm-hmm.
And again, sweetheart that is Amelia throwing all of this for us. I mean, again, I'm surprised she's got the ties here. That just startled me to begin with. I was like, what?
I know.
And then to say, hey, if they might end up wanting to do some live, quote unquote, live broadcasting with the show. Dude.
Wait a minute. And then she said she wishes that we could be on her show.
Yes.
I'm like, bring me on as an advisor and I'll teach y'all how to do this virtually.
Yeah. To have the talk back with both of us around.
Listen, it'll be the quickest buck I ever made, but it would be worth it.
Man, I think it'd be some of the most fun we would. Dude, it would be the most fun we would have. I could tell you that right now.
I'm responding to her right now, giving her my email address.
Man, pass my info along too on that one.
I'm doing that now.
This is
because this is nuts, man. This is nuts.
And here I was thinking I was going to be taking crap for being a Red Sox fan, talking to someone out of the Bronx.
Right. That you were bracing yourself for that.
I was thinking to myself, I'm wearing a Red Sox hat. We're talking to someone who does a Yankee show. I'm getting a foot in my ass for wearing this hat. Nope. Comes up here all the doggone time. The heart of Red Sox Nation outside of Boston is here.
Yes.
And I'm blown away, dude.
I'm right. Like I said, y'all hear keys banging away and the wheels are turning.
Man, the wheels have been turning hard today.
And Amelia, we have you to thank for it.
Hey, anytime she wants to come, dude, as you said, anytime she wants to come on, I'm game for this.
Yeah, same, boy.
I'm telling you.
I think we just unlocked a monster. I do. And I was looking for something too, because I don't make very much money doing this, although I do thanks to the AdSense, and I got to get that growing as well, so I can not only pay myself but pay my crew. And I do get donations,
right?
I do, and I still ask for them, even though some particular people want to call me a con artist, but they don't know what's going on. But I'll say this. That conversation right there is why I continue to do this. That conversation, the conversations I have with my wife, the conversations I have with my daughter, even my son gets involved. I got a funny story. The last time he brought both his dogs over, he has a Rhodesian Ridgeback, and he has another dog who is grown up from a puppy to be huge. A little bit of Mastiff, a little bit of St. Bernard. Those dogs came in here and wrecked my set.
Oh, jeez.
Open the door. Ferguson is like right here in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny, he's trying to hold on to her. She's flying around the house, knocking stuff over. And then I tell Ferguson to go back to Dakota, who's my son. Before I went to a break, Ferguson sneaks around the corner. Jenny takes off for the kitchen. He takes off. Down goes the set.
Reminds me of my little furball I had back when I was living just down the road a little bit back when we first met up. My little cat Mercedes.
I remember Mercedes.
Yeah,
I remember Mercedes.
And the fact that I'm just kind of waking up, I'm checking out everything, going through my emails as always, stuff like that.
Right.
And I had my computer on one of the little elevated platforms. I had a little bit of a simpler desk back then.
Mm-hmm.
And off to the side by my TV, I had, a cup of orange juice and everything, just going through my morning.
Mm-hmm.
This little one, after waking me up first thing in the morning, decides as soon as I put the orange juice cup up, I get ready to sit down. She whacks the orange juice cup off the stand into my computer.
Oh, no.
I had to replace way too much on that tower. Trust me, I know what it's like when animals destroy things.
Well, it's like last night when I came in from taking my daughter to work. I'm looking at the wires here below my desk, and they're shaking. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm on the footrest. I can't be. I'm not shaking, am I? I didn't think about it until Binks climbs up in the window, opens the curtain, and then just peers at me. I'm sitting here just cracking up. And Binks comes over for a moment. He shoves his nose at me and he headbutts me.
Yep.
And that's the way cats show love. And he jumps down and takes off.
Yep.
Like
good old fashioned headbutt.
I'm like, why are the wires shaking? And I see this little tail retreating and heading up to the window.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love it, man.
Sunday night, the Timberwolves eliminated the Suns 4-0. 122-116 is the final. The Boston Celtics are on the verge. They beat the Heat 102-88. They lead 3-1. The Denver Nuggets did us all a favor and took care of LeBron and the Lakers. 108-106. Jamal Murray was the hero, and the Thunder sweep the Pelicans 97-89. Tonight, the New York Knicks have a chance to clinch and beat the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Sixers have not looked like a good team at all.
No, they haven't.
Except for game 3 when everything was fluid for them and they won the game by 12.
Yeah, they've looked lost most of this series against New York's D.
Why do you think that is?
New York's just been able to stymie them. Philadelphia's been known more so to go from 15 feet back than to try to go in the post, which is why you see Joel Embiid shooting 7 or 8 from deep a game, is because that's what they give them.
And they shouldn't.
No, because what type of threat is he in the post right now? I mean, he's hobbling around on a bad knee.
He's no threat in the post whatsoever. None.
And we all know Taylor Maxey's pulling his best John Cena impression because he ain't shown up yet.
Tyrese Maxey has been great. All right. Tyrese Maxey should be the captain of that team and not Joel Embiid.
True.
Not Joel Embiid, because Joel's not a leader.
No, he's
there
not.
Are times. There are times when Joel looks like he could lead this team,
but he doesn't.
No. And what have we always said? What have we always said about Joel Embiid? He's got the physical skills. That's no lie.
It's mental.
It's mental. He could right now be the best big man in the Eastern Conference if he learned to play with his back to the damn basket.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry about draining threes. Keep that in your back pocket in case it's needed. Worry about your game, 12 feet and in.
That should be his only concern. That should be his only concern. Is playing with his back to the basket because no one else can guard him, save maybe Giannis. But even Giannis is too far outside.
And Giannis hasn't been back in this series at all when you got Milwaukee and Indianapolis going at it.
5 on the schedule tonight. Mentioned the Knicks and the Sixers. They play at 7. And old Snowman might be putting on the headset for that game. I haven't decided yet. Magic and the Cavaliers tied 2 games apiece. They go at 8. Heat and Celtics tomorrow. Okay, that's tomorrow. Okay, 3 games tonight. I misread. I'm sorry. 3 games tonight. Third game tonight is in Milwaukee, where the Indiana Pacers try to take out the Milwaukee Bucks. Pacers lead that series 3 games to 1. I beg your pardon. And the difference in that series, his name is Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, Halliburton's been huge. I mean, everyone's going to say, well, you guys are beating up on a weakened Milwaukee Bucks. Come on.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't have Dame. They don't have Giannis, but they still got weaponry that keep them in the game. It's just the fact Indiana's been better. They've been better outside the arc, and they've been better inside the paint.
Find the lie. When Tyrese Halliburton hit that game winner in overtime Friday in Game 3 in Indianapolis and sent Gainbridge Fieldhouse into a frenzy, I knew they were taking both of those games.
Yeah.
And then Game 4, Milwaukee just came out flatter than a pancake.
I hate to say it, but I think Milwaukee may have given up. Maybe they realize that Giannis is going to be out for the entire series, and they just don't have the heart in them. Gee, we can blame the coach for that one.
Because Doc Rivers' time has passed him by.
Yeah, it has.
I'll say it again. I'll say it again, and I'll say it proudly. Your time has passed you by, Doc Rivers. Knock it off.
The last time Doc mattered with a team wearing green, they were playing on parquet.
Yep.
And we're about 2.5, 3 hours down south of me.
That was his best run as a coach. Should have stayed in the booth.
Yep.
I said it and I meant it. Should have stayed in the booth because you're not a good coach anymore. You're not a good coach anymore, Doc Rivers. Let me do something for Trust Truth really quick. He asked in the chat, did you call the Iowa versus LSU this year's Iowa women win? Yes, and I'm going to find it and I'm going to drop it here for you in just a minute. That'll be fitting.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It? We had fun doing that game.
Oh, dude, that was insane.
That Iowa LSU game was nuts.
About as nuts as the Big Ten title game we called with Iowa and Nebraska.
You know what? That one. Oh my gosh.
We knew it was going to end up going into an extra period once Caitlin Clark started going off late.
And she hit a big 3 at the end of regulation.
Yep.
That sent everybody into a frenzy.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah.
Me included. Where is that? Colorado, Iowa. I know I did Iowa LSU. You know what? I didn't because I was ill.
Oh yeah, that was the one we had to reschedule.
Trust Truth, I'm sorry, but I did not do the Iowa LSU game because I was horribly ill. I was exhausted. I was tired. I had plans of doing that game. We had plans of doing that game. He said the Nebraska call was great. Thank you. I did do the national championship with Iowa and South Carolina. Did do that one.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to reschedule Iowa LSU because
Yeah.
you weren't feeling well, and I had another commitment that day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and
I
there was
know,
no way I was going to be no way I was going to be prepared the way I was feeling. You know who got the last vote? My wife. My wife said no. She told me flat out, and I told you this. She told me flat out to shut it down.
Yeah, we were talking all day about this.
Yeah. Yeah, and you kept coaching me up saying, "Are you ready?" And I kept saying, "I'm ready." And the more I said I'm ready, the more tired I felt.
And then when you came back and said, well, it might not be a good idea, I'm like, yeah, I think at this point, dude, it's going to take too long for us to set up.
Yeah, because usually we require, what, 2 hours? 2 hours before the game to get set up?
Yeah,
And
hour and a half, too, anyway.
Yeah, hour and a half, 2 hours. That's like our requirement. Whether I'm out doing games in person or here in studio, I'm in studio 2 hours prior to tip.
Yeah, and then usually we have a powwow about things about 45 minutes prior to tip just to get the notes prepared.
And when I didn't make the 2 hour mark, I listened and I shut it down. I shut it down.
Yeah, because we had everything lined up to call the final handful of games in the bracket, and it just went. We covered the first two on that side with LSU and USC, and then the Iowa Colorado.
Yeah.
And then when it came down to the next game, you know, a couple of days later, no, it wasn't. I think I was calling a race with Droid that would have required me to go back to back that day because it was on a Sunday.
Yeah, you were doing that. Trust Truth says I was wondering something like that. Did you do Iowa against UConn? No, for the same reason. I didn't do the Final Four for the same reason. That week it was awful.
Yeah.
Physically, that week I was awful.
But don't worry, we have got some major plans in the works this year.
That we do.
Carry us straight through for a long time to come.
Yep. Y'all see the merchandise link in the chat. I'm going to link it to the YouTube page. Please support the show, and please support the Dog's Garage as well. We're getting out of here. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. So long, everybody.
Why must you torture us with this?
Ain't nobody calling me,
No!
texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved?
We don't want you involved, Tim. Get out of here.